Hello and welcome back to the Cookie Jar Golf Podcast. I am Tom Mills, and recently I had the opportunity to go down to Woking with Tim Lobb of Lobb and Partners and Patrick Forbes from the Preferred Lie. We played some foursomes around Woking with Patrick's brother-in-law Alex. It was a fantastic day out, and we had the opportunity afterwards to sit down with Tim and Patrick and record a very quick podcast. The bar lady down at Woking was very kind and allowed us to stay behind and do our podcast when she was supposed to be closing, so we had to kind of make it short and sharp, but we did record the podcast and we're able to bring it to you, and I hope you enjoy.
Watch this. No way!
So we're here with Patrick Forbes and Tim Lobb, two people from different sides of the world doing different sorts of things. Patrick, I'll start with you. How did you tell us about Preferred Lie, how this all came about, and what sort of brought you to the UK? And then Tim will talk about how we've got you involved here. So, yeah, tell us about Preferred Lie. What is Preferred Lie?
Before we even go there, I think I should thank you guys for letting us take it to the 16th hole today. I thought we were going to be...
I wasn't going to mention it.
I thought we were going to be dormy through 9, so it's just a treat to make it to 16.
Tim got off hot for sure. He was, the putter guy.
You guys are... Your combined cap of what? 14?
Combined, yeah, 4, half
12?
7, yeah. So 5 and 8.
And you were level through 8 holes on alternate shot.
Yeah.
We had no chance today.
Well, Tim played well.
We all played
Managed
well.
to keep us in the game, but one of the few architects I've met that likes to game his ball around and hustle people while he's doing it. So thanks for that, Tim.
With a smile on his face.
He's got a huge grin on his face.
Well, Patrick, go on, keep going, Patrick. We'll get to my golf in a minute.
So I should caveat it. We're sat in the wonderful Woking Golf Club in the clubhouse. They've let us stay inside a little bit longer.
It's really busy here right now too.
There's absolutely no one here, and yeah, it was great meeting you guys today and finding out about Preferred Lie. You've messaged Sam a few times on Instagram, and we kind of cross over a few bits. You do video things as well, but it's not all you do. So tell us about Preferred Lie.
Yeah, I think it starts from a place of when we first started traveling to play golf or playing golf tournaments around North America, finding out which local qualifier to go to. You end up doing, a ton of research on golf courses, and eventually you get to a place where you realize what other people think about golf courses isn't always what you might perceive as you play the golf course. So really we're trying to build software around personalized golf course rankings. So that's really what it comes down to. I think
an online platform.
Yeah, an online platform. So if you go to app.preferredlie.com, you can create an account and you can save courses to your wish list, similar to Airbnb. You can watch videos of great golf content producers, similar to Netflix. So there's, No Laying Up, Cookie Jar, Eric Anders Lang. There's so many great golf content producers these days. So we're trying to do our best to showcase those great pieces of content.
And you create your own video work yourself as well.
Yeah, no, sort of a secondary piece to the concept of the Preferred Lie. We never envisioned creating content. None of us are filmmakers, unlike yourself. So we do a half-assed job of putting videos together, but we have a ton of fun doing it. The company, we officially incorporated a year and a half ago. It's with 2 of my cousins and 2 former college golf teammates. So we got 3 Forbeses and 2 Lackeys as the co-founders, and we all pretend to be competitive golfers. But
I can confirm you can game your ball. I was only on the 18th where you were like, oh yeah, well I have entered the USAM trials. I was like, okay, so you're a serious golfer. But if you're all ball strikers, then we're not going to have a competitive match, Cookie Jar versus Preferred Lie. It's just not going to happen. And Tim, you're from a different sort of part of golf, really, being an architect. We're at Woking, one of your clubs. Tell us a little bit about your background and how and the clubs that you're involved with at the moment.
Well, thanks, Tom. It's nice to be here at Woking. I'm a Woking resident, Aussie citizen, but live in Woking. I've been living in Woking 25 years. I'm a bit older than you guys, but where did I come from? I came from Australia. I think that was one of the questions. And some of the clubs, living in Woking, it's the heart of the heathland, and I've really enjoyed playing a lot of the heathlands, but also now working on the heathlands. And part of our work, I think, is just enhancing these beautiful golf courses. We're not trying to reinvent, the strategies or the characteristics of these courses, but just enhance what's already here and make them better. And we're really lucky and honoured to be, we're working at all the W's, Woking, West Hill and Worplesdon, which we just completed a big works. St George's Hill, hopefully a lot of your listeners have been there. It's a pretty remarkable place.
Spectacular place, isn't it?
And some of the other heathlands, Blackmore, we're working there. Burr Hill, which is a Willie Park course, just nearby, which is great. I hope I haven't forgotten any of the other projects, but I'm going to be in trouble. But that's been some of my sort of career highlights, is working on the heathlands, and we hope to work on a couple more, and we'll see. But it's unfortunately a very small sort of category of golf. There's not hundreds of heathlands courses. It's probably in the dozens, I guess. I haven't taken the number.
But they all seem to be good. That's the characteristics of it.
Yeah, and I think what's nice in the heathland community is that there is this appreciation for this landscape that this golf course sits in, and there is now a great movement to enhance and make sure we restore this heathland environment as much as possible. Now the heathland golf courses are really the gatekeepers of this landscape, because it is a diminishing landscape, and the golf courses are really making sure that this precious landscape is continuing on and enhancing. So, golf plays a really important role in this landscape.
Yeah, it is hard to find a difficult heathland golf course in my experience. I mean, wherever you go, the land is just so good, and the undulations are so good. The greens here at Woking are some of the most fabulous greens around. It's just absolutely brilliant. But I think it's fair to say that I've hitched a ride on your little tour here. I mean, you two have played some golf together around on this trip. How did you guys meet? How have you got together, and what is it that you're doing together at the moment?
Did we meet over beers? Is that the best way to put it? Tim and I met in Toronto last year.
Yeah, a very remarkable golf course that Patrick's a member at, the Toronto Hunt. I'll let you continue on.
Yeah, I guess how do we even get there in the first place? So I was on the Sunshine Coast of British Columbia last January. My wife and we spent a month working remote last January, and I was driving up to the Skookumchuck River, which is just a remarkable body of water. When the tides rise and flow, you get these really cool whirlpools in this area. And it's a bit of a tourist attraction. And I noticed this fairway about 3 kilometers away from the Skookumchuck Narrows. And I said, what the hell's that? And just one of the best rumpled fairways I'd ever seen. And it turned out to be a course called Pender Harbor. It's a 9-holer community golf course. And did a quick Google search that night. Saw that Lobb and Partners had been hired to do some restoration work there. And 3 days later, we were filming an episode with their head pro, their head superintendent, and Alex Hay of Lobb and Partners. So maybe you can take the Alex Hay background for how you guys started your Whistler office. But
yeah, well, thanks, Patrick. And it's sometimes funny how people meet, but I'm really glad we have. And as you said, it all started in Canada. I've been lucky enough to find some good partners, along the way. And Alex Hay and I have been working together for about probably 5 years now. And Alex is based in Whistler, and first of all, it started off that Alex was helping out with some of the works we had over here, and then we thought, let's give it a go and set up an office in Canada, and take it from there. And I'm really pleased we have, because from the British Columbia base, we've found some amazing clients, and I just love the landscape and the appreciation for the land that we see in Canada.
And the excuse to go skiing.
I'm a terrible skier, and I haven't taken full advantage of our Whistler office, so I do need to take advantage of that. But I just love going over to Canada and seeing the guys, and I'm really looking forward to years ahead, and working with Patrick on some things. I was really pleased he could come to the UK and see some of the things we're doing over here, particularly the heathlands, which is really ingrained in our company. So it's been exciting, and maybe we can go to some other destinations with you guys as well at Cookie Jar.
I was just going to say, we got to get the boys from the jar over to Canada.
I've dropped about 3 times on this show. I've never played Worplesdon. I've never played Western.
You're invited.
Too. But it's before I'm going to talk about your trip, Patrick, because it's you and your brother-in-law Alex that have come over, and your wives and children to come over to the UK. But before I get to that, talking about I don't know a huge amount about Canadian golf, and I think you were saying there were some golden age architects that have gone over and done some of the courses out there, which I wasn't aware they'd done that.
Yeah, no one's really aware. On a global scale, I think Canadian golf flies a little bit under the radar.
Yeah.
Certainly, and maybe Japan is the other country that would fit that bill. Like, Harry Colt has done some great work in Japan. Australia gets its fair share of attention, I believe, on the global scale, as does the UK, and quite a bit, probably mostly in Long Island or California. But yeah, Stanley Thompson would be one of Canada's, if not most famous, I would say, probably, most famous architect. Golden Age, did a lot of work in the 30s and 40s, actually found his way to South America too. So he did quite a bit of work in Sao Paulo and Rio. So there's some courses that Canadians kind of want to migrate to down there and go check out. And also Rod Whitman has done quite a bit of great work in the current era, I would say. But courses like St. George's, I guess there are 3 St. George's in the world top 100, I guess, nowadays. And the one in Etobicoke, just outside of Toronto, would be one of them. Obviously, most golfers on a global scale are aware of Cabot Links and Cabot Cliffs. There's some other great golf courses, Sagebrush, Capilano. Victoria Golf Club is this really great hidden gem in Victoria, British Columbia. I mean, there are so many great courses in Ontario. The list goes on. There are just too many to name.
It certainly flies under the radar. It's not somewhere that leaps off the page. It'd be like, I need to get to Canada. But like some of the courses, like you mentioned, as you're reeling them off, I'm like, they are good, aren't they? It needs to be something that we get out there to do more of, really. I mean, Tim, speaking, you as an Australian native, like you just mentioned, Australia does get its fair share of love when it comes to the Australian golf courses. Growing up in the Melbourne area, do you see, you're doing a lot of work now in the heathland courses, do you see any similarities between the heathland courses and the sandbelt out in Australia?
Well, I think, some of the sandbelt, well, yes, I do, absolutely. There is a love for integrating the indigenous landscape throughout the golf course as much as possible. I mean, Kingston Heath is called Heath for a reason, because there is a heath there. I think the heath is a bit different to the heathland we see over here in the UK, but, you see rough and rugged sort of landscape bleeding into the golf course, which I love to see. And we saw today playing a heathland course that, the heathland will bleed into the golf course. I've spent a fair bit of time playing on the sandbelt courses, and I was back there a few weeks ago and played, some of them. Yarra Yarra and Royal Melbourne a couple of weeks ago, which was fantastic. There is some similarities, but I think that they are different. They're a different grass type for one. You
get those really sharp edges, don't you?
Yeah, you've got more sharp edges. The green speeds, it was phenomenal again to play on the sandbelt because the greens are so fast.
Yeah.
And it's not just about putting, it's, chipping, and if you're in the wrong spot, you are dead. So it's kind of the same, but a bit different, I would say.
What are they stimping at in the sandbelt?
I guess, 12, 13 at least, and rock hard. When we play the heathlands here, it's sort of heathland with a bit of pine. You don't really... Same but different, if that makes sense.
Well, we were talking on the way around, Patrick, about green speeds. I mean, I just think in Britain we get used to slow greens. I think we get them to sort of 11 and we think like that's really quick. But you were saying today that that they're nice and that they're a good speed, but they're not quick. I was like, they feel really quick to me. So is it something, do you think, in Australia, North America, they just get them really, really quick?
Well, I want to even, before we go there, call out what matters in golf, right? And it's not necessarily quick greens. It's, for me at least, it's what is going through the golfer's mind when they're standing over a shot. So whether it's tee to green or around the greens. And green speed, I think, can play a role in that, particularly, when you're thinking of a tucked pin, for example, or when there's a massive contour in a particular corner of a green and the pin might be over there. But yes, definitely I would say golf in North America, definitely greens are a little bit faster. Does it matter though? I don't know.
I mean, I don't think so. I think, like you say, as soon as you get the speeds up, you can start to tuck pins a little bit better, and it gets a little bit more difficult to play to certain pin positions and things. But no, I don't think it does matter. And it's all about sustainability, what you can maintain over a long period, really. I mean, you were on a whistle-stop tour of, that is the UK. It's not England. You've done some Scotland as well. Where is it that you have played on this trip, and what's been some of the places that have stood out? Tim, you haven't done all of these, the ones that they've done. I'm taking. You've just done the Heathland ones.
Yeah, just Woking and Worplesdon was really the down here.
Two down here, but you've done 10. Well,
don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
Tell us about your trip.
All right, so I guess part of the reason that we're here, in addition to a family trip, is we were shooting an episode for the first ever AIG Women's Open at Muirfield, which is probably getting a little bit lost in translation with the 150th Open being in St. Andrews this year. So we were shooting an episode up at Muirfield, I guess maybe a week or two ago, with the Honourable Company. But we started out in Cornwall. We played West Cornwall, which was just a cute, brilliant little links, quirky golf course, probably 8 or 9 blind shots. Ended up at St. Enodoc, which I could rave about for hours. We did Lytham, Troon. I missed Prestwick, but some others got to play it.
We can't skim over this. So just a tiny bit of background. Patrick's just become a father. 3 months old?
3 months old.
3 months old. Yep. And it's brave to bring a 3-month-old
on a 10-round golf trip. I love it.
Yeah, on a 10-round golf trip, 1 month golf trip to the UK from Canada. But congratulations on becoming a father.
Thank you.
But fatherhood, the duties hit you hard at the first tee at Prestwick.
Yeah. No, I got a call from my wife saying she wasn't feeling great. We'd played Troon in the morning, and it was a struggle. That car ride back to Glasgow was not fun, but it felt like the right thing to do was to go and support her.
So you shouldn't have answered your phone. That's what you did wrong.
I know.
Always mute.
I know.
Mute.
I know, but it's good. Honestly, it's good for me to learn that lesson. And
but you're traveling with your brother-in-law Alex. He got to play it.
He did, yeah. And the first thing he said when he got back to the place was that it was his new number one favorite golf course that he ever played.
Rubbed it in for you. So, it's so good.
I didn't throw anything at the TV that night. No, it was. I'm grateful that I didn't get to play it because it taught me something, and I know I'll be back. So,
yeah.
But yeah, from there we went up, played Dornoch. and then Muirfield and Gullen. Some of my cousins who are working on the preferred lie with me, they flew over and they played Dunbar. I didn't join them for that round. It's a great golf course though, and then we're back down here in the Heathlands. Yeah.
And what was the standout courses on the way around for you? Because I know when we talked about on the way around, you said that preferred lie was kind of, you felt like you were being misled by the rankings and what was the top 100. It's all about finding. To be fair, you've just reeled off belters that are in the top 100. But is there anything you've come across and you think on your travels you thought, yeah, that's quite interesting?
St. Anna Dock stands out for sure on this trip. Yeah, I felt like, the first time I was at North Berwick in 2013, it wasn't quite, as high up as it is in today's rankings. I don't even know if it was in the top 100 at that time. And I sort of feel like I've been chasing that experience where you have a bit of a lesser known golf course, although in these parts St. Anna Dock I realize is quite well known. But for me, being from Toronto or in North America, you hear a little bit less about that one than you do some of the others. Yeah. And that was the most unique golf course I'd ever seen. Really? Yeah.
And then you get to the Heathlands, and Tim, you have shown Patrick and Alex around the Heathlands. It's fair to say that Woking's undergone, this is where we are now, and Worplesdon's has some changes as well, but Woking's undergone some change over the last few years. What is it you're trying to implement here? I think it's fair to say you've had some green expansion or trying to reclaim some of the lost greens.
Yeah, exactly. I think, that's been an important task that's happened. And, Andy Ewens, the course manager here, has really taken that on board. Because what's interesting is that, Woking is known for its greens and its contours and the challenge that it is. But, over time, the greens have probably shrunk a bit. And then by extending these greens out a bit, we're regaining sort of lost pin positions close to the edge. And, the pin positions close to the edge are often the most exciting. So that's been really good. We looked at the third green and the back left pin on 12, that famous 12th green, which is pretty phenomenal. So, they're getting pins up on the left there. 17 we brought forward probably 10 or 12 feet. So, again, a bit more pin positions. Also, Woking, I love it, very traditional club, but looking forward. We've been putting forward tees in as well. So
yeah, I noticed that on the way around.
Yeah.
They're blue.
Yeah, exactly. So we're trying to get some really high quality teeing grounds in sensible places where, everyone from, juniors to older members can still enjoy the Woking experience. We didn't want to remove the heather carries because that is integral to the golf course. But we wanted the golfers of slower swing speeds to be able to enjoy Woking as they probably always have, but just don't have the ability to do so anymore. So you notice some forward tees out there. They're properly constructed, irrigation, drainage, looking fantastic. We've done, just in the last winter, we did quite a bit of work on the second hole. Fantastic long par 3. The big oak to the left
is no more.
Yeah.
So that because I the last time I was here was maybe 18 months ago. The last time I played it, and that was overhanging the green, wasn't it? It was basically in play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's just a ghost. It's not
there. Yeah, it is, and it's really interesting. We put a lot of heather out to the left. I think the scale looks correct now. It looks, a sort of wide and expansive, almost panoramic view instead of a portrait view. So, I think that hole now is quite special, and really gets your attention after. Some might say an easy first hole, and then holes 2 and 3 at Woking. If you can go par there,
you could say it's easy, Tim, but I mean, when you're telling your playing partner who's never played the golf course, you don't need driver here, you can make the game a bit more difficult, can't you, Patrick? Straight around the back of the first.
You know what? Okay, so first of all, we'll talk about the panoramic views because they're incredible on the front nine. And yes, probably 2-iron is a play off the tee on number 1 here at Woking from now on. But
yeah, because it all runs away as well. Like there's no
277 on the cart, but like 220 is all you need.
Yeah.
230.
It's just a little pat with a 5-wood and.
But I love how delicate those first 10, 15 yards are of the run up into the green,
Yeah.
right? Like that shot you hit was phenomenal. That punch 70-yard shot that you had.
Yeah, a
what
little
was-
7-iron. That was great.
Well, how
That
far
was-
were you? Were you 50 yards or 70?
Yeah, probably. But I had a little branch overhanging, so just punch and run, and
You almost hold it.
just ran the whole way, didn't it?
Yeah, it's certainly a course that keeps you guessing on the way around. When you get given access to a heathland course, Tim, that's been here forever, and you know you're now the custodian of the course and what's going to happen to it. Is it difficult to take that responsibility, you know, and try and improve the course? Because whatever you do, invariably, change always receives a pushback. And, you know, you want to widen fairways, you want to make greens bigger, you want to get rid of some trees. You're always going to get a bit of resistance. Is it difficult to sort of walk the tightrope of keeping the character of the course but still trying to improve it?
I think that's an excellent question, and it is a heavy burden when you come to a course as good as this, and you're advising, you know, on the future, so to speak. But to me, it's never a one-person decision. It's a discussion that we have with the club, and you know, we have ideas that we would like to do. I think before anything is done, there's a heavy research period into the course and you know how it's evolved over time. I just showed you some of the aerial photographs we go through and researching heavily into the course layout, but also the landscape. Now, for me, a big thing that changes over time is the landscape, and when you're here every day, you don't see it happening. But, you know, with the aerial photographs over 20, 30 years, you can see that evolution. But advising a club like Woking, it doesn't come sort of with a sort of I don't know what the correct word would be. We don't take it lightly. It's certainly it's not a fast process, and I'm not saying that because of Woking. That's something I like to impose. I don't like to rush any sort of advisory on a course of this nature, because I think it requires a lot of consideration.
Yeah.
And a lot of sort of testing of ideas, and to me, you know, when we're coming here, we're not the judge and the jury. We're not saying it's my way or the highway. It's a suggestion, and it's a recommendation, and you know, hopefully, you know, the club will see that, okay, we've got a track record. This has happened in the past. It's worked well. Let's keep going with this. But it's having a very clear line on what the overall vision is. You know, and heathland restoration on all these courses in Surrey and Berkshire is a really important driving factor. So that's the kind of way I think about it. You know, it really is a team approach. You know, with the course manager, with the secretary, with the pro, and you know, coming up with the right strategy. You know, in fact, I mean, just I'll finish quickly, but you know, doing the design is actually the quick bit.
Yeah.
It's making sure you're making the right decision. That's what takes time, and that's the important bit.
Yeah, it's like with a golf course changes in design. It's one of those annoying things. You want it to happen. You know, I've drawn it, so
Yeah.
can we have it now? But it takes so long for these things to bed in. Like you could see from today with the widening of some of those greens that you're reclaiming some of that land back. It's going to take a little bit of time to get that where it needs to be, although it's the start of the process, but it just takes a little bit more time to get some of that back.
Yeah, it does take time. And, you know, what is interesting, you know, when you come, you know, in some of these clubs we've been working, you know, 6, 8, 10 years with, and it's about like making the first step, which a lot of things in life is the hardest thing to do. But making the first step and then just making sure that first step is the right step is the important thing in my view.
And you guys are working together in terms of you were out there today doing some filming on some of the greens. You had some really spooky stimp thing that you guys had going on.
Yeah, digital
stimp?
spirit level. So it's really interesting. It's a great bit of kit actually, and we use it a lot. And it gives you the percentage of fall across a green. And like I was saying to Patrick, like around 2% is what I would aim for if we were doing a new course. And you'll see a lot of 4 or 5%, on these older courses.
Yeah. You wouldn't get away with it now.
Yeah, and you talk about green speed.
you
try
get
doing
lynched.
that at 14 or 13.
Yeah.
Forget it.
But so you guys are doing a fair bit of stuff together at the moment. Patrick, with the Preferred Lie, you said you started off ostensibly as a platform for people to record their golf and compile lists and see where they've been. What is I'm very conscious that we're holding the young lady woken. He wants to go home, so I need to wrap it up, unfortunately. But what does the future hold for the Preferred Lie? Where is as I think you've gone on a similar journey to us, and it evolves very quickly, and it evolves in front of your eyes, and it's always changing. What do you think is in the future for Preferred Lie?
Yeah, I think two things to look out for. So one is our app development. So I encourage everybody to go sign up on the Preferred Lie. You'll be able to save all the golf courses you've ever played, create wish lists, build trips, and you'll have your own rankings, and you'll also get recommendations based on courses that you love. Instead of, I'm making up a scenario here, but instead of paying $595 to go play Pebble Beach, which maybe won't be your favorite golf course, here's a golf course on the Isle of Arran at Corrie or Shiskin that might cost you £22 that you're going to fall in love with. So that's the one thing to look out for. But also on the content production side, we'll have a series coming out this summer, the focus being the AIG Women's Open at Muirfield, and then this winter you'll see Canadian Classics Season 3 coming out. So a little bit more of a spotlight on Canadian golf.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's something that I've watched your work and begrudgingly really enjoyed it, which is not I don't like to do with other videographers, but you're putting out some really great stuff. So I do urge everyone to go out there and look at your work. But Patrick, Tim, thank you so much for letting me join in today. Thank you so much for your time and coming on to chat with me. I know you've all got places to be and wives to see, so thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having us, Tom.
Thank you very much, and thanks to you guys for spreading the word on golf. Really is awesome. Keep it going.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Watch this.